This episode of Man of Prestige was in the next school over, and there's a lot of successful marriages that I know met that way. And by the way, there are lots of successful, not so successful marriages that ended up in divorce, but they also met in college. So there's no absolute, right? I'm just saying from my experience overall, I think it's some of the best time as a young man to meet your future wife, because frankly, because you don't know a lot, because marriage is always going to be a move of faith, even though you should educate yourself on what the risks are. But if you can overwhelm yourself with the risk and use that, it's a double-edged sword. You can use the being overwhelmed with the risk to also cut yourself really badly, because basically it becomes your outlook on marriage, and you start projecting that on everyone you meet. Before you know it, you're attracting exactly what you fear the most. All right, way number 2, work. The best way to meet women in the digital age. The best way to meet women in the digital age, I'm going to give you additional 6 ways. Okay? So, full disclaimer, I've been married for 14 years. Okay? So, this is the point where a lot of young men will say, but Ola, you don't know shit about dating. How dare you try to advise us? They say that, and then they end that statement with another 100 different complaints about the dating scene. And I'm like, all right, so maybe you're confused. Maybe I can share some insights with you. Maybe what I tell you is not going to be a gospel truth as usual, but maybe I can share some perspective with you, and maybe you may find it useful, right? Another thing that I have access to, just like you, is the statistics, the data. Obviously my ears, I'm listening to what the gentlemen are saying nowadays. I've got friends that are in their late 30s, early 40s, that have the same struggles with dating and have their own different opinions about what's going on in dating today, So I understand, the struggles. I think I get it. I think I understand. I have a good picture of what's going on. Obviously, there's a big change that's going on. Dating in my era, I dated between late 90s and late 2000s. I got married in 2007. So things have obviously changed, But I would also put it to you that things have been changing since that point in time. We're in our 40s now, early 40s, and my wife is 40, and so they're not exactly exempted. A lot of those people in that age bracket are the one going through divorces right now. They are just as confused, if anything. So I know you only want to bring that up when it fits your narrative, but let's talk about it. Dating is a struggle for everyone. Okay, so I want to give you 6 ways to meet women, good women, feminine women, fit, friendly, feminine, cooperative women. I know that's what you're looking for, right? So there are 7 ways that's still available in this time and age, right? And I'm going to tell you, you can meet good women in any one of this, right? So way number 7, you have dating apps, right? Dating apps. Way number 6, okay? I'm going to give you the best way. Way number 6 is social media, right? So I'm going from bottom to top now, okay? So basically, in my opinion, the quality of people you get in this platform, kind of like I order them in that same order. Okay, way number 5, live events. Okay, so live events in this way number 5, because you get to meet people face to face, and you can feel on people's face emotions, their voice, the tone of their voice, and you can tell a lot. Not everything, but you can tell a lot by actually being able, even about yourself, being able to, because a lot of people on the internet, let's be honest, the reason why they're so loud on the internet is because they're socially awkward when it comes to real life, right? Let's be honest. And way number 4, matchmakers. Matchmakers are good, especially if you're in that space where you feel like, I need some help. There's nothing wrong with seeking help, but also it varies from the quality of your matchmakers as well too, right? So way number 3 is school. School. You went to school. You went to college with a person. In my opinion, it's one of the best. Okay, it's one of the best. It's not the best. It's one of the best bits of my experience, what I've seen, and I didn't meet my girl in school, but I met her while I was in my senior year, and she was in the next school over. And there's a lot of successful marriages that I know met that way. And by the way, there are lots of successful, not so successful marriages that ended up divorce, but they also met in college. So there's no absolute, right? I'm just saying from my experience overall, I think it's some of the best time as a young man to meet your future wife, because frankly, because you don't know a lot, because marriage is always going to be a move of faith, even though you should educate yourself on what the risks are. But if you can overwhelm yourself with the risk and use that, it's a double-edged sword. You can use the being overwhelmed with the risk to also cut yourself really badly, because basically it becomes your outlook on marriage, and you start projecting that on everyone you meet. Before you know it, you're attracting exactly what you fear the most. All right, way number 2, work. All right, so this is a little bit weird for me because work is it's also it has its own level of sanctity that I definitely wouldn't want to. Ideally, you don't want to mix work with personal love, romance, but it's worked for a lot of people. So just in case you meet a young lady that's really nice at work, you just want to make sure you identify what are the risks, what are the downsides of that, but you can meet a really, really good wife at work. And the best, drum roll, last but not the least, is personal referrals. Okay, personal referrals. Like somebody felt like, hey, you should know this person. You know each other. You have a mutual friend. Things like that. I feel like is especially if you're a person of a certain age, a man of a certain age, you definitely want to be open to, hey, if you meet a nice young lady that you feel like a beautiful lady that you feel like I should meet, feel free, and before you meet them in person, you can ask for a picture, and get to know a person like that. Because of the mutual friendship that there's some kind of level of respect that comes. Also, that person's already in your circle in one way or the other. I think that's a good thing. There are some downsides to that too, but a lot of it can be mitigated by making sure you work on yourself, right? Because again, you can destroy existing relationships if something doesn't work out, right? So those are the 7 ways right there. The best way, in my opinion, is personal referrals. I have some stats here, some data that came from, I think it's the Best Life article or something like that. And these are divorce rates within 10 years, okay? These are divorce rates within 10 years. And they're based on where people met. So if you met at work, this stats basically 24% of people that met at work end up in divorce. 20% of people that met online, social media, dating app, those kind of things, end up in divorce. So extremely high, even though work online. I told you earlier, my personal experience, right, shows that work is actually not a bad place. But again, there's some downsides to that, right? And friends and family, 15%, okay? School, 13%, end up in divorce, right? So it's going lower. School, very low, 13%, okay? 13%. They met in school, 13%, okay? So since 2017, 28% of married people met online. So we're not going to use the statistics to basically discourage you from potentially meeting a nice, young, feminine, fit, friendly, cooperative lady. You can meet them any of these places, but I think these statistics, they don't have to be your portion, okay? Just work on yourself and you will basically attract the best from any one of these different places. I said live events, but I guess a club can fall in that category as well. But just keep in mind that there's certain type of people, you see them all the time at the same club. I would just be careful with that. But I don't want to judge anybody. I've seen people met their wife from all different types of places. My wife and I used to club earlier on in our lives, so imagine if I said because I met her at the club, she wasn't my wife. So just keep that some discretions there that you should apply personally, and keep that at the back of your mind.